Hello, friends, and welcome to September's ritual. I feel like we are all going through collectively individual craziness. For me personally, being a full-time teacher, going back to school, back teaching school has been very intense this school year. And with all these heavy feelings, with all these big emotions, we've also been going through eclipse season. So now that we're on the other side of it, we are clear. Let's do some reflecting. There's a lot of things a lot of advice that witches will give around don't do any ritual during eclipse season. Don't do this, don't do that. Well, now that we're out of it, yes, that's right, baby girl. Now that we're out of it, we can get back into it. So let's dive in. Post eclipse season magic. If you are like me, you are probably um, really just trying to process it still. And that's what this is about, giving ourselves space to process the very heavy and very real shit that's been going on. Um, I digress. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being present with me. Thank you for engaging in this practice with art as ritual. I'm going to say it throughout this, but grounding and gratitude, I think, is one of the most important things in the moment to remember. So I'm giving that gratitude again to you who are listening, watching us, and supporting me. I appreciate that deeply. So let's just talk about the eclipse season. So this is all general public information. I'm just sharing this as a way to kind of um, get us thinking about what might be some themes that are coming up for you, right? Individually, collectively. Um, but the nodes have been in Pisces and Virgo. Our eclipse season has been in Pisces, Virgo, the dynamic of duality from across from each other. Um, so we had a lunar eclipse in Pisces on the 7th and a solar eclipse in Virgo on the 21st. And of course, what's great is we also had the equinox, um, and the sun thus moved into Libra on the 22nd. So there's been a lot of shifts and changes. And in the new moon vibes, in the new moon vibes, in the full moon vibes, it's a lot of reflecting on transformation, grounding, letting go. Take a deep breath with me. Letting go. Um, but of course, in 2026, when we revisit eclipse season, we're going to be hitting a solar eclipse in Aquarius, starting a new series of that Leo Aquarius dynamics. We're moving away from the duality of Virgo and Pisces, these very watery, spiritual, I guess a word for it would be is if Virgo is scrutinized and Pisces is, I believe, then we can have been kind of going through a period of time where we are learning where to be of service and what serves us, right? So where are the pieces within the puzzle, but also which puzzles do we not fit in? We're not just made for those spaces. Virgo is the support system. It is, I've been reminded again since it was Virgo season and my moon is Virgo is sometimes seen as the servant. So how can I be of service? But a better way to look at it, I believe, is Virgo is the sign of the helper, the supporter, the person who is doing all the numbers behind the scenes, the person who is having to kind of organize the chaos, right? Whereas Pisces is very much the spiritual leader, the spiritual, like, creature, rather, the spiritualist, um, whose work is less physical, but nonetheless just as valid and important, right? So as we are moving away from that next year, we'll have the solar eclipse in Aquarius in February. But we're still not out of it yet. We still have some finishing touches with Virgo in March. So that is kind of honestly a very interesting time for us to be doing this ritual because we want to kind of stop, reflect, integrate what has come through this season so that we can prepare for the following season, is as in just like noticing the patterns, right? Noticing the patterns as well as opening the right doors to the new paths in front of us, right? Because we will be starting that Leo Aquarius vibe. So integrating the lessons, understanding the lessons, and seeing how this can be a roadmap for us in the next 6 months. So again, just some very generalized overview. And take it or leave it as you wish. If you see something here that calls to you, go with it. But if it does not ring true for you, as always, let that shit go. It is just not as important to even think about. So that lunar eclipse in Virgo in March 2026, that's going to kind of be our closing chapter. So as we're finishing up the book that is eclipse season and understanding, okay, this is what has happened, this is what I've learned, this is what I'm perceiving, this is what I hope to take forward, that's really what it's all about today. And I like this phrase, practical growth and service, because Pisces to me is not the practical. And Pisces is not, it's like the memes that say like the lion does not concern itself with da 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 da. Pisces does not concern itself with the practical. It doesn't really give a shit. Um, whereas Virgo is like, well, I'm going to be of service in a practical way. I'm going to fold your laundry for you, make you a soup. Like, I'm going to care for you, but I'm also going to organize and put things in their proper place and help you get your fucking shit together. Whereas Pisces is the random person you run into that says something that just like has changed your trajectory. You know, it's just like unforeseen and cosmic in a way. So as we close our work with Virgo and Pisces in the eclipses, even more reason to start doing this reflecting. So this is going to be a pretty quick practice, but at the same time, it's a practice that if you're watching the recording, please come back to or take as much time as you want with this practice. I'm going to be putting on some music and letting us individually reflect on these questions. What were some big events that took place between September 7th to the 21st? Definitely some big collective events. What is a lesson or theme that came from these events? And what have you been releasing in this season? Hey, sorry, she's eating a box. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna just kind of let you answer these as you will. Before we do, gratitude for you being here. Gratitude for this cat that keeps bothering. Box, look at box. Stop eating it. And gratitude for this breath we're about to take. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just kind of recenter ourselves. Wherever you are is okay. Whatever you're feeling is okay. Whatever you're bringing to the table is what it is, and it is okay. And even if it's not, it will be. Moving in these moments, knowing nothing is permanent, is so relieving. Take another deep breath in through the nose. And now I'm going to put on these tunes, and we shall journey. Take a step back from our journaling questions, reflections. Let's bring the hands together, rub them back and forth, create a little heat, and bring it to the heart. Take a deep breath in here and let it out. Be here for a second before we move on, resting in this space. Shake it off. So now let's write some intentions for this ritual. It can be the same paper if you like. I'm gonna go ahead and put my paper upside down or backwards. And these are, again, very general, but remember, gratitude. A very general list of things you're grateful for, all the way from cotton candy to cars at work to smiling strangers, anything and everything. Let's go. I want to invite you to really think about a phrase you want to work with and one goal you want to accomplish before the next season. I feel like these are reasonable asks for ourselves because ultimately there can be a lot that happens from now until February. But let's hone in on the phrase, goal, and the gratitude. I'm going to put on the music again. And check back. But take your time with this. And of course, if you're watching the recording, you can go ahead and pause this for as long as you need to. Remember what I brought up earlier about how we are closing this chapter right now. Of course, the nodes will be back in their place. We'll be back in the axis of Pisces and Virgo once again. But for today, I invite you to kind of think about it as a closing, right? We're closing one chapter, opening the next. So what's a goal you want to close in on with this chapter? What is a phrase to help carry you through it? And what are all the great little things that make it worth it? All right, let's go. All right. Let's drop in, shall we? Take one hand over heart, one hand over your papers, paper, whatever feels right. Remember, we are building a bridge. And in this bridge, we are connecting ourselves to our intentions, to our body, and spirit. We are building this bridge because it takes us across, it takes us over. Kind of recenter yourself to notice your body and your mind. Just take a deep breath in here and out through the nose. And this is just a friendly reminder there's no wrong or right way to do what you're doing right now. So if your mind is racing and you're trying to find where should my hands be, what should I be doing, what should I be thinking, release those intentions, those thoughts. And if you're doing something crazy and wondering, am I doing this right? You are doing this right. Because you're here and you're showing up. And that's it. So as we drop in, just connecting with the breath, noticing maybe where there's some tightness. Where are you holding? And what are you holding? Coming back to the body and the breath, breathe in through your nose. And out through the mouth. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I just want you to imagine a circle around you, casting that circle of protection, creating your own little bubble where only you, your spirit, your guides, and your supports exist within. All that does not serve is no longer welcome. A circle of protection. Inhale through the nose, out the mouth. Feel free to do this at your own pace, breathing in deeply through the nose, holding it at the top, and then breathing it out through the mouth. Allow yourself to just recenter here. Inhale exhale, imagining that circle around you. It can be of light, it can be of dirt, it can be of leaves, dust, and all the rest. Whatever you see it as, that is what it is. And it is what it is. With this next big inhale, we bring that circle into the lungs and send that protection outward with the exhalation. Allow your eyes to slowly but open. Coming back to where you are. And as you come back in gratitude. Think about some things you wrote on your list or what you could add. Giving some gratitude towards yourself for showing up. And when you feel ready, at a pace that honors you, you're free to continue with some art making. Now, in my journaling intentions, I drew a big old circle. Feel free to start with whatever you like though. I'm just going to go with this for the foundation of my drawing, but remember there is no right or wrong to what you're doing. You're just making art. And that's kind of cool. You can just free will it. And free will means you can do whatever you want on your paper canvas. Or weaving. I'll be back in a little bit to check in. Please take your time with this practice. And of course, once again, if you are watching this recording, work for as long as you want. Take a second to pause. Of course, if you're watching or recording, pausing here is good. Before you continue forward, just take a moment if you feel called. Remember, there are no right or wrongs. There is only what is, and what is, what it is. Let's before we close out, just take a second to breathe again together. One hand over heart, maybe the other on your belly. Looking down on what you did or you didn't do. Maybe you just sat here and disassociated. That's bad. Just observing what was and what is. Take a deep breath in here and let it out. Recentering one last time. It's all about recentering. And it's all about gratitude. So give yourself a moment of thanks for being here, for joining me. As always, feel free to reach out. It is not easy to do anything these days. Everything feels exhausting. But you are doing magical work and important work. So thank you. I'm proud of you. I am gonna stop it there. And until next time, I love you.